Hi there, Hillary here for WaterLogged on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. Today's video, we are going to be installing one of the last components that connects to the ReefBeat app. Now this is going to be the DC Skimmer upgrade kit. Now this is another one of the things that came out at the beginning of 2023. So in this kit, you are going to be switching out the pump that runs the skimmer, and you're also going to be switching out the lid on the skimmer. This new one has a couple of different probes in it. They're gonna let you know when the foam is a little bit too wet and also when the skimmer cup gets to be too full. Now in both of those situations, it's going to dial that pump back down and probably will send you some notifications in the ReefBeat app. So before we get started, make sure if you've already got your skimmer installed and running, that you have a towel, and I'm gonna go ahead and unplug my skimmer, get it cleaned off, and get these things installed. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open the door and remove it. I gotta say, this is one feature that Red Sea made on these tanks that I love. It's super easy to get these doors out to do maintenance. All right, I got it unplugged. I've got the wire pulled out, so I'm gonna take this off in pieces and try not to make a huge mess. Nope. So you might hear that noise in the background. That's the auto top off. As I'm pulling this out, some of the water has been displaced a little bit, so it's trying to figure out how far it needs to top off. And if you're doing this at home, give this time, take it a little bit slow. There's a lot of water still stuck in here. It'll eventually drain out. Okay, so if you remember putting the skimmer together, there's a couple of pieces that have to come off to get to the pump, so we're gonna go ahead and take this all back apart. That last piece that I just popped off, if you couldn't see, is the little rubber piece that holds the cord into the base. So there's that. All right, we have the pump out. Let's get the new one put in. Okay, I am ready to start reinstalling it. I've got my pump here, but you may have noticed that I had little PVC spacers in a few of the previous shots, and because one of you asked me about them at the previous show, I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about it. When you are breaking in a new skimmer, sometimes you can have a lot of foam and it can flow over, but sometimes the Red Sea skimmer specifically, you need to add a little razor on there just to bring it up a little bit in that water column so that you don't have as much foam. I didn't show this in the videos. It was something that I added off camera, but you asked, so I'm gonna share. I had to add those little spacers on there. I think it was just 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch PVC that I put on the bottom, but this new pump and system that I'm gonna be putting on the skimmer, I'm not supposed to need that, so I've gone ahead and taken it all off. If you have one of the old versions, go ahead and maybe consider adding that. If you've got the new one, you shouldn't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and put this installed. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and attach the cradle to the base first. All right. This guy. Okay, I'll put this back on. All right. That takes care of the pump in the skimmer, but now we have to fit the top. Okay, so you've got your new top. You can see here the holes where the probes are gonna go. So obviously the lid is gonna be swapped out, and And you're gonna need to take this blade off. All right, put this over here and grab this new piece. All right, so this is gonna go in here. All right, and now for the probe. So this has two different lengths. The shorter end is going to go on the outside most hole, and the longer one is gonna go on the inside. All right, I got all of the new parts in. We're gonna go ahead and get the base and the skimmer cup back in the sump, and I'm gonna get the cords run, and then I'll show you it all set up in the app. Okay, as you can see, it is all in place. Now, the probe and the pump on the skimmer all connect to the return pump controller, which you saw me install in a previous video. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like on the app. Okay, when you open your app, you're gonna go to the reef run and click Setup Pump. All right, in this screen, click Setup Pump 2 and select the skimmer model you have. I'm gonna go ahead and change the name on this just so that there's no confusion and it's easy for me to see in the app. All right, when you get to this screen, you are going to want to click the button and turn the pump on. Next up, where it says sensor control, go ahead and hit that toggle to turn that on as well. Now you're gonna need to calibrate. So go ahead and hit calibrate. To do the calibration, you are going to need a cup. So go ahead and get yourself a clean cup that is free of soap, oils, and residue. Once you have your cup, go ahead and hit calibrate. It'll take a few minutes for it to calibrate the sensor on the larger of the two probes. Okay, easy enough. Next, it is time to calibrate the cup probe. So you are going to do the same thing. Make sure that cup or container you're using is clean. And when you're ready, go ahead and hit calibrate. Just like before, it'll take a minute or so and you are ready to go. Go ahead and click great and it'll bring you back to this screen. In the future, when you want to see some of the data, you can come back here, but you are pretty much set. One thing that you want to go ahead and do when you're at this point is make sure you hit that save button. Okay, once you hit the save button, it will bring you back to the home screen, and it doesn't happen automatically, so give it 2 minutes maybe for it all to kick up and get going, and that's it. You've got your skimmer pump and probes set up and ready to go. Okay, you can see it, it's up and running. It was really easy to set up and I'm honestly pretty excited to watch and see how this works over time. I can already hear the pump ramping up or down to make that foam level just where it needs to be, so I can't wait to watch it and see the data that comes in from the app. All right, that is going to conclude it for this video. Make sure to stay tuned for the next video and I will see you then. This has been Hillary for WaterLogged on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.